Hello and welcome to D.O.P.E Conversations. I am so excited about our guest today. We are going to be talking about STEM and African Americans in STEM and what we can do outside of the classroom with those degrees. So first, I would like to welcome Dr. Quincy C. Moore. He is the director of our Honors College at PVAMU, but he is also the associate professor in our biology department. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And now I want to welcome Ralston Leckett. I met him Tuesday at a research conference, and I was blown away at his research, and I wanted to have him on here today to share with us. So thank you, Ralston.
Thank you.
He is a family nurse practitioner, so he has a lot to share about STEM subjects, especially his.
Yes, thank you.
And last but not least, we have someone from our undergraduate world here at PVAMU, Matthew Codwell. He is a mechanical engineer student and brilliant. And so he has a lot to share with you today. And today we're just going to talk about STEM and why it's important for African Americans to get involved in STEM. And also so that you can see the face of STEM. It's not like what we saw when we were little, Urkel. Everybody doesn't look like Urkel in the engineer department, in the biology department. We have some really cool, creative people here today, and they're going to share their experience. But first, we're going to go to commercial, and then when we come back, we'll jump into some good questions.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
All right, thank you. Come back 5 minutes. No, I'm sorry. That's way too long. Let's try 30 seconds.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
What do an aerospace engineer, cancer immunologist, and bat scientist all have in common? We all have cool jobs in STEM fields. Whether it's building robots or learning to code, girls everywhere are finding their passion for science, technology, engineering, and math through positive role models and mentors. So dare to dive in, get connected, and explore. You never know what your future may hold. Learn more about these and even more cool jobs at shecanstem.com.
Welcome back, and thank you for not taking 5 minutes like I said before the break. So, Dr. Moore, what are you working on right now as far as your research?
My research is very diverse. We're working from a science perspective on the bench, soil microbiology work, where we're taking samples and determining what type of bacteria grow there and their impact on plant growth and actually just the possibility of finding new antibiotics.
Okay.
We're looking at, actually have taken a COVID-19 approach to looking at its impact on how college students have adapted to being in that type of pandemic environment and actually thriving.
Okay.
Or are they going in the opposite direction? So we're colleagues and I are working on that as well. And the final project is looking at novel delivery systems, and looking at eye infections and ways to treat it, new therapies.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're a little busy, just a little bit.
Yeah, that all sounds very interesting, especially the second one you talked about how college students may be adapting to the new or the bacterial and seeing how that works out. I'm curious to see about that. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
So what does your research say about the importance, or what does research in general say about the importance of African Americans obtaining STEM degrees? Why do you think it's important?
I think, to be honest, exposure to seeing African Americans in STEM is low. And so I was looking at some research just the other day, and I was looking at the population of America compared to those in STEM,
Okay.
and our numbers were lower than that. To be honest, let me bring my chart out here. Receipts. If we look at the overall United States population and look at blacks, it's 12.3%.
Wow.
Okay. If we look at those receiving bachelor's degrees, 8.4.
Wow.
Those receiving master's, 8.3, and those receiving doctorates, 5.5.
Wow.
These
That's
are the
so-
numbers, and this is a report as of 2018.
Okay. So we have some work to do.
Yes, we have a lot of work to catch up, and to be honest, our numbers are rising.
Okay.
Blacks in STEM, but they're not where they should be.
And that brings us to our guest that we have today. Y'all are black.
Yes,
and y'all are
yes, we are. Yes, we are.
So, Ralston, why did you get into, what made you want to be a family nurse practitioner?
Thank you. That's a great question. I would say growing up, having an opportunity to go to a doctor's appointment and seeing someone who did not look like me, it definitely made an impact, not only with, I think, adherence or sticking to a plan of care, but also feeling comfortable. You know, that's really the biggest thing, especially as an African-American male. We already are at the top of the list for so many comorbidities, complications. So being able to get in there and be a face in which my patients can definitely identify with, I love it.
Yeah, I think that's super important, especially being on the other side.
Yes.
When I was able to find my black doctors, I was like, wow, because I
Yeah.
felt like they could understand me.
Correct.
They could maybe understand my culture and why I choose some of the decisions health-wise that I have
Yes.
made. And I think that is one thing that we have to appreciate when we do find black doctors, because you're in the
Definitely.
doctoral program now,
Yes,
right?
I am.
So it made you take that next leap.
Yes, yes, especially being able to bridge the gap, right? Because being able to see patients in which they are not only of such a diverse background, but of course psychosocial, especially economic. Not everyone's going to have that silver spoon, but being able to again identify to which where I began, because my family didn't come from a loads of money. You know, we still had to struggle and make that way to get to college, come to a HBCU just like Prairie View. So I will say I want to continue that journey and also bring people behind me forward in that approach.
That's good.
So that's the good thing.
Mr. Matthew,
Yes, ma'am.
how you doing?
I'm doing great today.
What brought you into the STEM world?
What brought me to the STEM world was my love and ambition for cars. Growing up, you know, playing with toys, you know, I was fascinated with cars, but then my dad would take me to car shows. And once I went to car shows, they would lift up the hood, and I was like, where are these moving parts, you know?
Right.
So, you know, I fell in love with the engine, every component of cars, and that's basically what led to my decision of majoring in mechanical engineering. And, you know, growing up, I was in STEM camps, and I fueled my own interest and did research on robotics, done robotic projects. I built a robotic arm, a drone, and from there, I just learned that I really love it, and that's what I want to do.
That is amazing.
That is great.
And that right there should tell parents, get your kids involved young. Don't
Yes.
make them wait to high school to try to figure out what STEM they like. Now, you have just brought a plethora of advice as far as going to camps,
Yes.
going to the car shows, little things like that that pique your interest. That's good. That's real good. Dr. Moore, so what do you think is one of the most, or maybe the number one misconceptions about blacks students in STEM degrees?
Sometimes it's the fact that many think it's hard, and it's area that's too hard to go into. To be honest, being a STEM is a very creative space. It allows for you to create your own path. I've have colleagues who went into biology, but then wound up going to become a lawyer.
Okay.
Had those who have gone into a STEM field, but went into entrepreneurship. So they've taken their background and what they're learning, because in the STEM field, you're having to do critical thinking, analytical thinking. You're here at Prairie View, you're taking on pretty much every subject matter within your curriculum and the subject matter at the university. And that's what you're leaving this university having, a wealth of knowledge to do anything.
Yeah, that's good. I think the part about being hard was one of my answers, because you honestly think about math.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
it
you
is
think
very
about
true. Very hard.
the sciences,
That
and
is
you're
true.
like, man, I don't know. So to hear you say it's creative really makes me think about your path, Matthew, because before the show, you were telling me that you had made a drawing for Professor Robinson here on campus related to to history, and that in itself is creative. So for you, what do you think is a misconception about STEM?
I feel like a misconception of STEM is that just because you're in STEM, you can't be interested in other things. You know, me and my friends, you know, we're interested in a lot of things. I'm personally interested in art and fashion and sports. So a lot of people think STEM majors or people in this STEM field, they're only, coding, engineering, biology. But no, we can have other interests outside of that and explore that. Me personally, I even want to start my own art business and studio when I get older. So I feel like people in STEM, they just have to open their minds and not be so one-pathed that they lose sight of what they really want to do in life.
That's
True.
good. And Ralston, just you sitting here in your white coat, being a family nurse practitioner,
Yes, ma'am.
that may be unexpected to some because you're a male,
Right.
and which is not, that field is mainly dominated by female. Yeah,
Yes.
women.
Yes, and that was, everyone made a great point about using that creativity, because again, I love technology and being able to utilize technology. We use specifically telehealth during the peak of COVID. So when I was actually working with my patients, specifically to those who were adhering to PrEP, which is a pre-exposure prophylaxis that will prevent you from acquiring HIV. So we did not want to lose any of those patients because of the pandemic. So we definitely utilize teleservices to ensure that you're still coming to your 3-month appointments. We're ensuring that we're assessing your risk that could be happening during this time of isolation. So we didn't want no one to feel still loved on and appreciated. So, but yes, creativity is definitely, I think, something that should be identified more so for those who are looking to get into STEM, because we do have that ability to be flexible and adaptable as well.
That's good. So what would you say, Matthew, what's your biggest obstacle that you faced thus far in your program?
The biggest obstacle I've faced is time management. So last semester I had 8 a.m.s and research and, you know, having fun, trying to be in the social mix as well. And it's just, it can be very overwhelming at times, but I find that, you know, time blocking and prioritizing is what helped me to be the successful person I am now and be able to have, you know, good grades, but also be able to have a social life and have fun. So yeah.
And I'm glad you said that. So you're not just in the books. You're not just building robotic arms.
Yes.
You do have a social life.
Yes.
That's good. Ralston, what about you? What's one obstacle that you faced in your doctoral program now?
Oh my God. I tell all my friends, like, you know, adulting. Like, I never identified myself as an actual adult, even though we know, you know, you have your bills, you have your mortgage, you have other responsibilities. However, still trying to keep that normalcy, keep that peace of mind. I truly believe mental health is very important. But yeah, so like he said, time management, being able to say no to some things, but also indulge in others.
And see, both of y'all mentioned things that any person in any program would go through. That's not just isolated to STEM.
Yeah.
As an education major, I have to do those same things.
Yeah.
So this is showing us that you don't have to worry just about certain things in STEM. I think the uniqueness of your programs is unique in the fact that y'all are building things, you're trying to cure things, and you are dealing with a variety of things on your plate. But you're in normal programs just like anybody else.
Yes.
You're facing normal things just like anybody else. So I think that is important to say. From the honors college point of view, what do you see your STEM students struggling with?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. the balance of the academic rigor, the balance of fulfilling obligations to be in honors program and also be a college student. As Matthew mentioned, time management is one of the issues in which students have to come face to face and realize that it's okay to say no.
Yes.
And mental health is very important for any student on the campus to make sure that you have that vent, you have that outward expression so that you can release
Right.
and then regroup, refocus, and get back on it.
So what can we do as friends of STEM majors, colleagues of STEM majors, administration to STEM majors? What can we do to help them in their ambition to get this degree?
One thing, show what the whole purpose of, I guess, the struggle is. Show how some things delayed lead to a promise fulfilled.
Okay.
Sit down and do a roadmap.
Okay.
Roadmap of that has targets to reach, and also reemphasize if the target has not been reached at that point, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. Extend that just a little bit more.
Yes.
Incorporate experiences that will diversify you as an applicant for your future.
That's true.
And it doesn't have to be in your area.
Okay.
Add things that are like the arts, add things that relate to culture, add things that are in a different discipline, become interdisciplinary.
That's good.
Add, because you become, I guess you can say, a plethora of knowledge in so many subject matters. So now you are wanted by many.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that if you cultivate a career in STEM, especially as an African American, you can pretty much write your own
Yes.
That is
path.
very true.
That's very true.
That
How
is
do you-
very true.
You sound like you speak from
I'm
experience.
saying that's so true because, as I mentioned to you earlier, my first degree here on Prairie View campus was biology.
Okay.
And then, and I saw that, you know what, I was not the best biology student. I can admit that, honesty. But again, Dr. Moore was my mentor, so I am so appreciative to him having that, foresight to just say, hey, just keep going. And so when I went to nursing, I mean, my brain was like open to so many opportunities, but the rigor of what I learned allowed me to be able to get into this new field. But again, I can truly say, if you stick to the path, but also be creative, you can write any check. And I would truly say that, and it's endless. The sky is the limit with that. So I'm just going off experience, but
Yes.
of course know that it's so many avenues to go.
That's good. That's good. Because I think sometimes when we hear STEM, we hear one path, not thinking about some side paths that you can take that will
Yes.
build you into something you want to do.
Correct.
So you originally wanted to do biology.
I actually graduated with my biology degree. I
Okay.
wanted to be an optometrist.
Oh.
And Dr. Moore was king of the optometry organization here on campus.
Okay.
But I said, you know what, Dr. Moore, my grade's not looking the best. So he said, you better look up something else in which you're able to get it. And so I was able to, fortunately enough, put in the work and just kind of took 10 steps back to get my life together for nursing. And that is how I was able to succeed in how I'm doing now. So again, that first lane may look foggy, but you still have the opportunity to still blossom.
And my mentor radar is going off because I'm like, I strongly believe in mentors. Anybody that knows me knows that I love mentorship. And Dr. Moore, it sounds like you were an amazing mentor to a not so strong biology student. But now look at him now, sitting up here with a white coat on.
Exactly.
So what do you do as a mentor to help a student to say, okay, maybe biology is not it, just go do general studies? What made you say, okay, well, let me help them keep the course?
Well, one thing as a mentor we want to expose students to more than just one field. A lot of students come with one focus, say, I want to be this, and this is all I want to do. But especially in the biology department, there's diverse of health careers
Right.
or professional degrees. And just knowing the student, knowing them to spending the time, having the one-on-ones,
Right.
and being honest and not being afraid to say, hey, this is not going to work this way.
Right.
But encouraging and supporting.
Yeah.
I have a lot of students in which I see a future for them and I want to push them that way, and they don't want to tell me they changed their mind because they feel like they disappoint me. But at the end of it, I'm like, I want to do what's best for you.
Yes.
And so just being there to correct and also to see the potential and say, have you considered this, is important as a mentor.
That's good. And what you didn't know, y'all, he didn't know that Ralston and Matthew were going to be on this show. I surprised him. He was mentoring Ralston when he was in the program, but he also works with Matthew, so that was a happy family reunion.
Yes,
for the show.
yes, it was.
We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back. So, not 5 minutes. Come back in a minute, and we'll see you soon.
What do an aerospace engineer, cancer immunologist, and bat scientist all have in common? We all have cool jobs in STEM fields. Whether it's building robots or learning to code, girls everywhere are finding their passion for science, technology, engineering, and math through positive role models and mentors. So dare to dive in, get connected, and explore. You never know what your future may hold.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Welcome back. And Dr. Moore, now I want to jump into what everybody wants to know. I've got my degree. What are some possible careers?
There is unlimited opportunity. You don't have to just be a teacher. You don't have to become a professor like myself. There's industry where you can go into sales, or you can actually go into research and development. You can actually go into, Matthew talked about cars. The cars are the future. We have Tesla out there.
That's true.
We need to have the next best Tesla or a brand beyond that.
Right.
It's the opportunity for you to take your foundation and what you have here and just build upon it. Students have started businesses while at school as their think tank, and then perfected those and are moving forward. I really tell you this, if you're in a STEM field, whatever your heart desires to go after, make that happen.
Ralston, tell us about your next steps, because right now I know you're a practicing family nurse practitioner.
Yes.
You're in the DO.P.E program, but what are your goals for the next 3 to 5 years? What are you trying to do?
Great question. Always a hard question, but a great question. Only because I want to see myself in academia. I want to be able to still practice, in which I'm able to really delve into a particular specialty that I've found a true fondness of is HIV care. That's currently what I'm working in at the moment. But I definitely would love to see myself being an entrepreneur as well, as Dr. Moore mentioned. Just making novel ways in which other individuals like myself can see that you can do it. So yes, so that's the direct answer, but I know my brain is always taking like, what other way can I do to, satiate my spirit. So I'll say that.
And I think you're on the right track. So
Thank you.
I wish you many successes.
I appreciate it.
How can they find you on social media?
Look, there's many places, but no, we have LinkedIn. My name is Ralston Lockett. We also have my current business page, in which my sister and I are co-owners of it. It's called Spark It LLC.
Okay.
In addition to my organization, which I work with, is called AIDS Foundation Houston.
Okay.
In which you're able to come and get prevention, meaning testing. We can start you on PrEP if you need to, in addition to HIV treatment for those who've been out of care. So we service all, and I'm always able to be found on social media.
Awesome. He's doing it. Matthew, so where do you want to take your career? When you graduate, what do you want to do?
Well, that's a very good question. I know I want to be a mechanical engineer wherever I go. My current top two industries are the automotive industry and the aerospace industry. I'm doing my research currently. It's a NASA project, and aerospace and space has always been something that interests me, but if a construction opportunity happens to come my way, or something in research and development, I would gladly take it. I don't necessarily know exactly where I want to be, but I just know that I want to be an engineer so I can contribute my ideas and beliefs to the world. So
That's good. And during the commercial break, you mentioned a camp that you would like to start.
Yeah, so after I graduate and become an engineer, I want to start a summer camp for high school students. And in this camp, I dream basically that I would be teaching about critical thinking, about different STEM fields such as nursing, engineering, biology, get people I know in these fields, and we all come together so that we can help Black kids to really find their passion. And if it's not for them, that's okay, but coming to the camp would just allow them to see if it's for them or not. And also teach the arts in this, and teach nutrition and exercise, and give away scholarships. So that's kind of like my vision on what I want to do after graduation.
You make me so happy, because sometimes I be worried about the future because some of your people's not right. But you make me very excited.
Thank you.
And where can they find you on social media?
My Twitter is _Matthew Caldwell, I believe, and
That's not the spam account. That's why you can't.
I'm not too active on social media. I do have it, but I'll have to let you know my social media after.
Okay. See, we're going to chalk it up to that. The young people are too busy doing positive research that they can't have social media accounts. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, and I like the fact y'all didn't catch it, but I did. When he talked about his camp,
I heard
said
it.
Nursing.
Listen,
and
you got
biology.
me.
Yes.
You really do.
I want all STEM fields, anything related to STEM. I want people of that profession to come in and mentor the kids and provide like certain activities to where they could like see, oh, do I like this? Do I like this part of biology, or chemical engineering or nursing?
That's
So,
great.
Yeah.
That's great. And closing out, Dr. Moore, where can they find you on social media?
Social media, I am on Twitter at Dr. Quizmaster. That's right. On Instagram is Director QC Moore.
Okay, Director.
Thank you very much. Well, tune in next week. We're going to have the lovely Dr. Tiffany Thomas on the show. She is our community development professor, but she is also Houston District F councilwoman. So I'm excited to talk about how is she connecting her position to grassroots. How is she developing these communities and making sure that the people in there are being served correctly? So follow me on social media at any social media, Paquita Pegram, and we look forward to seeing you next week. I hope you have a great week. Go forth and be great. Paquita out.